I mean, I think the key word that you brought up a couple different times in that last statement was like value. And obviously, being that you were raised in such a stubborn household of like idealizing what needs to be done, getting it done. Now let's talk about you today as like a family man. So obviously, we'll talk about Daddy T, and correct me if I pronounce this wrong. Is it Queen Sadie? Is her
Queen
name?
Sadie. Yep,
Queen
that is
Sadie.
her.
So I want you to talk about it because I mean, obviously, I think out of everyone, right? I mean, in the book, you were talking about, the like being married a couple different times and going up in the highs and
Mhm.
the lows. And the irony is that, Sadie is 16 years old, so she's been through all this shit with you. She's
Thank
been
God
through
she can't speak English, man.
so, I want you guys, and I'm saying those that don't know, obviously Queen Sadie is his dog, right? So I want you to kind of talk about like your family life now that you have Daddy T and you have Queen Sadie in there. Like, what does your day to day look like, considering that you're a highly business person, but obviously you have to have family time as well.
Yeah. And it's funny as you're talking, she's literally asleep underneath my chair right here. I don't know if you've seen the portrait of Queen Sadie.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So Daddy T, Taylor, she got me that for my birthday this year.
Yes.
But yeah, she's 16. I got her right out of high school. She's been the solid piece attached to this whole journey.
Mm.
I had a German Shepherd that passed during COVID at 14, so still a great life for an old pup. And now Daddy T Taylor. It's funny. I heard something a few months ago on a podcast, and I heard somebody say there's no such thing as a work-life balance. You can only hope for an integrated life. The
Mm.
best you can get is integrating life across. So work, life, family, business, and you see it since you've known me, right? And Taylor and I are still rather fresh to this world. Her company is very fresh. She's only a couple months in business now, officially with her own LLC. Um, you have to integrate it, man. There is no in between. Like I have in my calendar from noon to 2, it is blocked out for a walk, lunch, and Sadie time.
Mm.
Sometimes we'll do a workout together, right? On every Friday night from 5 to 10 is Tay time. Like I schedule it in because if I don't, somebody else is going to call. Somebody else is going to need something. I'm always wanting to be out there for folks. And she's gotten on my ass a couple times about it. When Friday night at 4 o'clock, I get a meeting, and she's like, "Yeah, we have Tay time in an hour, and we have date night." So I think it's one of those you have to be very intentional about integrating your life across, whether that's the dog and taking her out for a walk, or the Taylor that gets really angry if you don't take her out for a walk. God, I hope she didn't hear me say that. Yeah, I think the integrated life and being very intentional about that is the best way to do it, because if you try to keep them separate, one or the other is going to feed into the other at the end of the day.
Very cool. Very cool.